Our generation in today's society has to suffer with a compact, compulsory curriculum, traumatic tests, and petrifying panic attacks triggered by the stupidity of the school system. In this video, I will be bringing awareness to the important issue of the relevance of specific subjects we are taught, rather than learning about essential life skills and current affairs. I will also explore the dangerous coping mechanisms used to deal with the stress and the high levels of pressure put on teenagers during exam seasons. For example, I enjoy maths up to a point. I'm certain that understanding our times tables and finding the areas of shapes will be useful in at least some of our jobs when we're older. However, when in any of our adult lives will we need to find the value of x or use trigonometry to find the side of a triangle, when all you have to do is find a ruler and measure it? Now history, it's great. But if I want to find out how old Hitler was when he decided to grow his moustache, then I can just pull out my phone and Google it. I completely understand why it's important that we as children should understand what has happened in the past events of the world, but shouldn't we be taking our heads out of our textbooks and thinking about the future and finding ways to avoid being niched by North Korea? Another issue that I feel like the general school curriculum has not kept up with is the rapidly developing technology of our nation. It makes sense that it was probably suitable in the olden days, when some of the teachers were children, but why hasn't it been updated nowadays? We can look up information within a tap of a button. So why are we being forced to try to remember every last piece of information about something for an exam, when afterwards it's very unlikely you will even be able to remember anything about it? So really the whole examination process is completely pointless. However, there are some subjects we learn now that will be useful for our future adult lives. For example, geography teaches us about the world we live in and different cultures of different countries. Politics has taught us about current affairs that are actually going on in the real world and allows us to develop our own ideas for such matters. And what my sister would definitely agree with would be English. It teaches us how to write and express ourselves in the best way possible and is a skill that is actually necessary for later on in life. Now, in replacement for some of these subjects, I believe that there are many other subjects we should learn instead. Subjects that can actually assist and help support our future lives for the better. For example, financial planning would be an extremely practical subject. It could teach us how to use money wisely, how to plan to pay off a debt, and how to budget successfully. Over 72% of young adults in the UK say they feel financially vulnerable. 42% say they have found managing money more difficult than expected, and 37% of whom are in debt say they do not have a plan to repay the debt they owe. I can guarantee that if we were taught some kind of financial stability in school, that these figures would drop dramatically. Another great subject would be stress and mental health management. We always get told what to do if we feel like we have a mental health disorder, or who to tell if we are feeling concerned. However, we never really truly get taught how to prevent or cope with one. The same goes for being stressed. If we learn how to control stressful situations now, it will most definitely help us for later on in life. Subjects such as social media safety, household repairs, and basic first aid training are also all things that are going to help us tremendously later on in life. So although these subjects are obviously a lot more useful and practical for life in our futures compared to some that we are learning presently, why have schools not changed what or how we learn? Recently there's been a tremendous uproar of students depending on specialised drugs used to help improve their academic performance in exams. These are known as smart drugs.
It's how widespread is all of this?
Yes, we were really surprised. We asked 2,000 students about what they're doing with these drugs, and as you say, 1 in 10 students are taking.
Well, I'd heard about it on the internet a while ago. I didn't take it until I sort of read an article about what was titled, "Is Modafinil the world's first safe smart drug?" And I wouldn't have used them in the past because you can get addicted and it can have a lot of negative effects. So I thought if it was safe...
Can I ask you straight away, did it make you smarter?
No.
It's actually a stimulant, and it's licensed for people who've got narcolepsy, which is a condition where they fall asleep all the time. It's not licensed for use as a smart drug. It's not there to enhance your memory, your alertness, or your performance, but that's what it's being used for.
But it just keeps you awake for longer?
Yes, it does, and because it's a stimulant, that's where most of the side effects come from as well. So it increases alertness and so on, but it also makes you jumpy, jittery, anxious, liable to be distracted. You can't switch off.
What does it say about our society nowadays that students are forced to resort to dangerous and harmful drugs as a coping mechanism to help deal with the pressures of examinations that our own government enforce. So, to conclude, I hope that this movie has helped get the message across that our national school system must start to make changes and overall help further benefit the lives of us as students' futures for the better.